that video that Terrence McKenna talked about is we've been propagandized that food, that these things are food that are not food, or they've started out as food, but they've been so highly processed that the essence of food is there, but it's so loaded with toxic chemicals that it's actually bad for us. Real quickly, things to remember is the good stuff is on the outside edges of a grocery store. Occasionally you can go in and get some of the stock, you know, like chicken broth from the inside aisles, but that's not food. It's been highly processed. If it's dry or crackers or comes in a box, do your best to forego that food or that food product, kind of like a meat product, you know. And the key is to go. I like helping people be reminded that when they go through a drive-through and you get a burger, it's neat, it looks great, it tastes amazing because they've loaded it with what they call craveability. They literally have social psychologists. They put electrodes on their brains and they see it on a computer and see what part of the addictive part of the brain lights up, and they give them a chip or a burger. And hey, Lori.
Hi, I can tell you all about your neighborhood.
And they see what parts of the brain lights up, and if the addictive part of the brain lights up a lot, they got a good product. That's fast food, right? And so the other aspect of it is put out your hands. Well, wash your hands. Will you wash your hands?
Yeah.
I mean, will you take turns washing your hands really quick? Okay, cool. This stuff comes from someplace. If you've ever seen Food Inc., you see where it comes from, right? These are commercialized feedlots, man, where animals are treated literally like non-living entities. And I'm not against anything. I'm for people being personally responsible and being aware of things and then making their own responsible choices. But when you crush a burger and knowing where all that came from and all of the toxic chemicals that are illegal to put in food in other countries, when you're going and doing that on a daily basis, sometimes like I used to do in the past 2 to 3 times a day, it makes sense that we should become more familiar about our food. And if you think, some people will say, what you're doing here, you're preparing is gross. That's gross. And I would submit to them that the food that they're consistently stuffing down their throat unwittingly is gross. Extremely gross. Not only is it gross, it's incredibly harmful to them. It disrupts their hormone levels. You will never get lean and build muscle and a stabilized mood by eating that food constantly. It's just the way it is, right? You good? All right, did you wash your hands too? All right, bam. So this is food. This is grass-fed food, right? This is grass-fed food. This burger has not been fed grains of any kind. And you all, if you haven't yet, you hopefully will now go and watch the videos on wheat from the book Wheat Belly and read the book Grain Brain. And you'll understand the consequences of having those types of cultivated, wheat. Wheat was never really great for us, but it was easy to cultivate and feed massive societies like the Aztecs, like corn, and right? But that was only after critters like this were depleted and hunted out. Okay, so they've proven and shown through archaeology and archaeological digs, they'll find Cro-Magnon men, and they'll find people who were hunter-gatherers, and they've done bone density tests on them, and the bone density is like hammers. Bones are hammers. Their cranial size is bigger. Their mandible size is bigger. So think about it. Cranial size is bigger. What does that mean? More brain, capacity. Stronger bones, healthier people. It's when they started to cultivate food like corn and wheat that the bone density decreased, turned a little more Swiss cheesy, cranial size shrank, mandible size shrank, and a lot of disease followed that. There's a lot of documentation on that. And I always tell people, don't take my word for it. Go research this stuff because there's so much disinformation out there today. You can find anything, but disinformation is just enough truth peppered with a motivated agenda that will dissuade you so that they can sell shit. The bottom line is you always have to follow the money. Always have to follow the money. You want to feel it? Did you wash your hands yet?
I did.
All right. So again, this is what healthy going through what people are consuming on a daily basis that's so pretty in a McDonald's package. This is an oxtail. And imagine us back in the day before drive-thrus and grocery stores and snacks everywhere, being able to go out with our tribe, and the guys or gals, whoever, went out and they shot an animal. And a lot of the Hispanic culture I really respect because they still bring this, like you were talking about. They'll kill it, they'll bring it in the house, they'll gut it as a family. And so it's normal for them. It's food, right? And they're preparing, they're getting their hands on it. It also gives you the ability to have some reverence for the animal. When you're crushing a whopper, you don't think, oh, thank you, cow. Thank you for the life you lived and whatever it was like for nourishing my body. You know, this gives you a chance to actually get in contact, not only with the animal and the animal's body, but our own body. This is all the same stuff that we're made of. And we're really depleted of this stuff. Y'all, did you feel that?
Yeah.
That's, see, literally after this, and we won't have any tonight because it takes 10 hours for this to simmer down and to extract all the good stuff out of these oxtails. But there'll be bones in the bowl. Literally, like rib cage like bones, because that's what this is. It's a tail. It's the extension of the spinal column, right? And in this, hi Jessica, between these joints is cartilage. Cartilage is made up of collagen and glycine, which is a really small amino acid, the smallest form. And so what this stuff is, like if you eat, a lot of women have heard of like eating gelatin for their hair and nails, right? That's where it comes from. That's where it comes from, right? They're easily like out of a Knox gelatin box, like crushing it, right? Or even gummy bears are made out of this gelatin. But if you were to say, here, there's the gelatin, they're gonna go, F off, man, right? It's gross. But this, you may as well know where it comes from, right? And get intimate with your food. And so, does anybody want to touch this? I gotta watch it. This is not Friday night.
Finish that sentence.
Exactly. So it'll take just 2 seconds to prepare this. This is organic vegetables. It matters because in the World War II, prior to World War II, they used to fertilize our soils with horse and animal manure, right? And old vegetation, they'd plow it back in, right? We ran into the same situation as like the Mayans and the Egyptians. We had to start cultivating a lot of food. And we still could have done it incredibly differently, but World War II happened. And when they were creating ammunition and stuff, there's a lot of byproduct called phosphates. Phosphates are a form of a fertilizer, right? And other byproducts from making weapons. And so they had stockpiles of this stuff. And so they went to the farmers and said, hey, look, this will make your stuff grow. And it's a lot cheaper and a lot less time consuming than fertilizing the way you've been doing it for thousands of years. And so that's where chemical fertilization came into existence. And with that came the byproduct of chemicals absorbing into our foods, right? And so that's enough on that. But here's a simple way you can tell whether, and you all can wash your hands again after handling the meat. But look at the numbers. Mom, where are your avocados at? Good looking? Oh, here. So I do both, but I'm also aware of what happens. Am I going to consume a vegetable that is containing some toxins in them that disrupt my hormones, right? That are doing probably as much negative as positive. Yeah, sometimes I'm going to make that choice. Sometimes it's the only choice I can make, right? Or not eat. And I want to really give you guys permission to not eat. If it's fast food versus not eating, just don't eat. Drink some more water. And you're going to learn how to carry snacks and different things along with you. If it starts with a 4, it's not organic. If it starts with a 9, it's organic. Right? So you can't be fooled again. Right? Isn't that cool? Hi, JT.
I already washed my hands. How about you?
Okay. The sanitizers. So did you see that? Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about? So these numbers on all these stickers, 9s and 4s. 9s and 4s are good. I forget exactly. I think it might be.
I remember, because I've like forgotten.
It's repetition because I have forgotten what the other GMO
Well, they have
is.
the same numbers, but the organic has the 9 in front of it. So it starts with 9, it's 5 digits, it's
He
organic.
remembers everything when it comes to this stuff.
So this is how simple this is, and I want to make really clear that I've been doing paleo chili for years, and
Is
I
that
am.
what you're making?
No, we're making Albert Lou's oxtail stew.
Ooh. Is it
Yeah.
like fun?
It's not exactly similar.
I almost brought my Instapot so we could eat
So
tonight.
I want to show folks like that. This is the oxtail stuff,
So wait
right?
till you see this spot.
And
It is maxed out.
so I like to imagine myself like one of the indigenous kids in dances with wolves. You know, around the campfire, chewing on the bone, and that gelatin's at the end of the bone, because that is exactly what, again, where gelatin comes from, Knox and gummy bears. So I'm right at the source, man. Right? And just really get back into the genetic makeup of us, the history of us. We sat around campfires gnawing on frickin' bones. And we didn't leave anything. That's why they boil cow heads, boil fish heads, they boil chicken feet, feet. I was always nauseated, like, you want some chicken feet? Are you? No, ever. But now I've been listening to podcasts about bone broth and collagen and chicken feet. Now I'm like considering chicken feet are loaded with good stuff, man. Make my hairs grow. Because God knows it's falling out a lot. Organic celery, this is it. Just chuck that in there. And then y'all see that bag right there? That's pink salt from Salt Lake area. It's Himalayan pink salt, but from Utah. It's just unprocessed salt with a lot of minerals in it. And you'll notice I just salt the heck out of everything. It's kind of hard to go overboard, but if you do, you'll know it and you'll never do it again. You know, it's like Alan Watts says, a little bit of salt in a stew makes it amazing. Too much ruins it. as in a lot of things in life. This, cilantro. Cilantro is detoxifying. And I like the flavor of cilantro. And you've got calcium, all kinds of stuff. Celery also has a ton of potassium. It's really good for a lot of things. So this broth in this is super healthy. What will happen is as we start to simmer this down over time, like over 10 hours, the bone in this, bone is made of what? Minerals, right? It'll start to leach out, and all the minerals from the bone of this, it'll start to dissolve the collagen, and all those basically free building agents are available to us, right? And so, whoops, they're all going to be meeting in the mixer anyways. So I just put those guys down like that. And so what I'm doing is, this is my meals for the week. One of them, I'll also make some paleo chili because it's super simple. I like boring. I like boring is best. And I also like this because this is one of the things I did to start getting time with my family again. After the economy tanked in 2007, I started making meals. My kids would be playing games or doing homework, and we're together. I'm watching Mr. Deeds. We watch the shit out of that, and we watch like Nacho Libre. So we're laughing, we're having fun, I'm nourishing. I'm contributing in the way I could because I was broke and I wasn't bringing any money in. So our presence is the magic, right? So again, more salt.
I cooked some whole chickens down, organic.
And then, literally, yeah.
And I didn't get back to it, and I had to throw it out. And at the end, it was all coagulated, and I was like,
you should have hooked me up with that, man.
Oh my God! Well, I've been sitting out for like days. I tell you, I was like,
I tell you this. So,
I wanted it.
just take these bad boys and stack them on top like that. And y'all can cruise around and take a look at it.
Looks good.
Now, the only thing that's not organic grass-fed is the ox. Now, if I wanted to go down to Whole Foods, I could have found them, but I didn't want to go to Whole Foods. So. But I just put them in like this, stack them in. Well, like that. You see it? That makes me really happy. It does, you know, it does. It gives you a sense of reverence for the animal and the farmers who actually took the time to do something organic, which it takes more. It takes more of them. And that's what matters about all this stuff, man. We're going from fast food to slow food. And I want everybody to start believing, like, just think about slow food. Slow food is community, it's fun, it's loving for everybody. You got that? And then we just take the burger and press that stuff in like that.
So we're gonna hang out for 10 hours?
Yeah. Like, people are like, wow, Troy knows how. This stuff's pretty easy. It's kind of like playing with Play-Doh, right?
Is that done yet?
Yeah.
My kitchen is completely torn apart, literally.
Next week is your place. You better hurry up.
That's right.
I'm not kidding.
So I'm gonna get down on these two items.
Cool.
Because I have a patio and a plug.
Patio
There
and
you
plug.
go.
It doesn't take much, right? Like literally.
A plug.
So I almost went and got these, but I thought, I'm not gonna buy them for people because if you don't pay attention. If it doesn't matter to you, they've got these for $10 at Idaho Youth Ranch in both Meridian and Boise. And so whoever
I
is the
have
first,
one. I love it. I use it all the time. It's my exact same crock pot.
so this
Yep.
is chicken stock, chicken broth. So this is chicken bones that have been boiled down for hours to get the same product as what we're getting here. And so put that in there and let it fill up. Probably need a little bit of water too. But I think really teaching our kids. Go ahead.
Did you do the whole thing?
It generally takes about the whole thing, yeah, and maybe even a little bit of water. But if you overfill it, this and there's gaps, the burger will fall down and it can overflow. So you want to just kind of look and make sure it's about 3 inches down there. It needs a little bit of water.
So you want the meat there to kind of form a seal?
No, it's not about that. It's just easier.
Okay.
So it has nothing to do with that. It just
It all break down, right?
it all works out. And so there it is, maybe a little bit too much. And then what do we do on the top? More salt. And oh, you know what I didn't put in there? Is thyme and where's those bay leaves at?
They're
Monterey?
in
Oh,
there.
here we
They're
go.
up there.
I got 'em.
Yep.
And bay leaves. These have a really cool flavor to them. And you can burn them, and I guess it gets rid of the evil spirits. So don't burn you right now, I might disappear.
That's
Yeah.
we knew better.
So they so there's the bay leaves. And then
All
what?
it takes is a bay leaf.
Yeah, right. Now you're able to test all your dates or not.
Truth, so watch out.
Tinder
I'm
testers.
Wonder Woman.
Here, munch on this leaf. If your date disappears. You know. So thyme, I just stick it all in there like that. And again, it's not an exact science, it's just get it in
What about
there.
adding garlic?
Yeah. Hell
No,
yeah.
I was waiting
Love
for that.
Did I put the onions in here? No.
No.
That's a drag because I love onions and I'm not gonna redo it.
Troy,
Ah,
You can just lift
oh, I
that
could
stuff,
chop them
can't you?
fine.
here, I sliced them.
You did?
Here,
That's all.
dice these
I'm
up,
got you
down
hooked
there.
up. Alright.
Just dice
So-
these up and,
There's a,
or not.
yeah, do it.
Chris, you got a crock pot, it doesn't matter, put it in there.
Yeah, it's just So are those,
Dice them up or leave them in there, whatever you choose.
so there's a thing we won't get into big time here, is because I don't even understand it, and that's a cool thing, is you don't have to be like a doctor, just know that the process happens. It's called methylation,
Out of your way.
so things will turn into certain things. Onions and garlic methylate into glutathione. Glutathione is the master antioxidant. So you know what antioxidants are, right? Marketed that for a long time. Glutathione stores in the liver, and people are spending huge money on glutathione shots and stuff. And it stores in our liver, and there's ways to extract it from our liver. But we do a lot of, yeah, thanks. Garlic and onions are a good thing to constantly have in your diet because you'll know you'll have glutathione in your system. And I'll show you brave ones how to get that out of your liver next time.
Very strong antioxidant,
Huh?
very strong antioxidant.
Super strong. Yeah, absolutely. You know, people who go into like cancer therapies. And good segue. You know, this is preventive. You know, we don't ever have to be sick. Our bodies heal themselves, you know, if given the right tools to do so. So, all right, it's going to be a little new and different. It's gonna have, there it is. And so literally, you take the lid, pop it on there, pop it on high. This has a 10-hour setting, and you go for 10 hours, man, and just let it roll. And literally, you know it's done when you can take 2 forks and shred the meat off the bone. You know, that's the way you want it. You want those bad boys to get clean real quick.
Melt in your mouth.
Yeah. And then when you fridge it, it's going to get this nice, like, green, glycer, like, shiny fat layer on top. that's magic. That stuff is magic. So the reason this is happening now, we're talking about bone broth right now, is because you can imagine with all the pink salt and the minerals, the was one of the things I was going to do. With the bone broth, this is really healing for the gut. And most everybody in our society has a broken gut. And so with the probiotics in the morning with a big glass of water, digestive enzymes before every meal or major meals, and bone broth are one of the fastest ways you can heal your gut. You fix your gut, you fix your brain. Everybody's, and their dog is on an SSRI, a serotonin reuptake inhibitor, right, an antidepressant. Everything, so serotonin is in the gut and made in the brain. No, 90% of it's made in the gut. And if we stood right here and you want to know your digestive tract and why this stuff is so important, to that wall. That's how long our digestive tract is. Our small and large intestine goes to the wall. So what you're doing is you're literally giving that many feet of gut and tool this amazing gift. How's that?
There's nothing like that first taste of bone broth
Right?
either. I mean, it
You can
just,
feel it.
like, it consumes your whole body of the, like, the best thing you ever put in your mouth.
Totally.
Like, why don't I eat more of this?
And it's sticky because why? It's got collagen, man, and bone marrow and stuff like that. So I'm thinking about branding of something called, don't take this, sticky lips. You know? Hey, sticky lips. Sticky lips bone broth. Citrus helps to leach out the minerals from the bone. So that's just why
Oh, you must be strong. That,
You know I'm strong.
Well, I know, but you know, now I believe it.
yeah, right?
Getting juice
You
out
want
of
to see me
the
crack an egg with one
I
hand?
thought I was strong yesterday because I carried a full cooler forever. I didn't stop. I just kept going and pretended I was working out.
Yeah,
Awesome.
That's it. So, and that's it, you guys. Set it and forget it.
Yeah.
So
I want to be
I won't be one of my favorites, man.
just sit there and watch it.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Oh, whatever. You know what I mean.
Oh, I check it at time too. Yeah,
You might share with them how many hours on high.
10 hours on high. Just 10 hours on high in a crock pot is ideal. It'll simmer on the sides. And there's other ways to make bone broth. Now I can send y'all links to that. I would love for everybody to like try all this stuff. Here's what I got for you. Where'd that bag go? Oh, Joel, you grab that bag on that black bag on the dishwasher. Mm-hmm.
Do you notice how many
Wash. I don't use one, so I never will clean my
bus
clothes.
And I can
stores are
see Troy just
popping
throwing
up?
the dishes.
We show that like
Throw
the
'em in.
first two people that actually go make this Albert Lou's Oxtail stew will get a meal prep bag. It's got your ketone shaker. It's got a water bottle. Well, you're gonna have to pay for those. I'm just giving you the bag. Actually, he is. You didn't even know that yet, did you?
I guess I do now.
Right on. So it'll hold your ketone shaker or your protein shaker. It'll hold your water, and then it's got these containers for ice packs. And these ice packs, this is one of the things that is almost like essential. You know, a gym bag and a food bag, and so you can put your ice packs in there, and in the top and the back, and then you've got these little containers that you put your meals in, keeps them cool. And then I use 3 of them, and then at the top I put like snacks, like macadamia nuts. That's the rich man's nut. And I'm cold, but I still eat them sons of bitches. They're good. So the first 2 people, you got posted up in the group, and you'll get a meal prep bag. Those are 60 bones.
Can I go?
Retail.
In the store well.
I know, right? I have the grass-fed beef at my house, so I'm
You know, when I was driving up here, there was a farm that had it.
If anyone needed
Yes,
help,
yeah.
I have 2 crock pots, I think.
You do?
I think so.
So
I might have a second one too, so if
So I
anybody
can
needs
bring
one.
one to work out tomorrow if anyone.
So who's gonna do this? You do? Okay. Oh yeah, the race is on, but it
I
looks
know, that's why I
like.
think I want to go now.
I was already doing
No, it's in the
it.
backseat.
I need that bag.
I have mine in
How
my
much is the
car.
bag if
Where's
Right
the
on,
bag?
man. I'm going to the box store on the way home. All right, that's it. Show's over.
Awesome.
Oh.